Hello, hello, hello. How are you, ladies? Hope you have a lot of energy in here this morning. I know we had to make some adjustments. It was snowing outside, but this is Cleveland, so y'all are used to it. It's all right, y'all. But welcome. It's All-Star Weekend here in Cleveland. We are on the map, y'all. We got all types of celebrities coming in town. And unfortunately, I know that you were supposed to see Keke this morning, but because of our wonderful Cleveland weather, she was a little bit delayed, but don't worry, we have another surprise for you at the end. But I want to thank Saving Our Daughters, Cleveland Sports Commission, Cleveland Cavaliers, MetroHealth, KeyBank, and First Energy for bringing this experience. And we will be delving into some mental health issues. And by the way, I'm Kenya Brown. I'm on 93.1 WZAK, so you can hear my voice pretty much every day on the radio. And we have some wonderful panelists here that will be talking to you this morning. We have a former WNBA player, Stacey Lovelace. Say hello to Stacey. And also, we have Jessica Vasquez, who is a mental health specialist, and our lovely Dr. Lisa Ramirez, child psychologist, and we will be rolling a quick clip. Really quick? How about that?
So we were backstage at What Happens Live.
Yes.
And you know, the show's great, we're partying it up.
Oh my gosh, so fun, yeah.
But when we went backstage, you started talking to me about some deeper stuff happening in your life.
Yeah.
Some of the anxieties you've been through. You talked about depression a little bit.
Yeah.
When did that all start?
I think when I first started noticing that I had anxiety or that something was, I wanted to start searching for ways to describe how I was feeling because I couldn't really express them. I had no labeling for what I felt. When I was around probably like 15, 16, like those ages is when I really started looking up for ways to describe what I felt. And the words I came across were stress, anxiety, and depression.
So the child acting you were doing, which you started around age 9, right?
Yeah, uh-huh.
How did that play into this?
I think when the way that the entertainment industry played into the way that I felt, aside from just, maybe those things just being kind of a part of life, was the fact that I was not always able to feel like I was okay to be myself, having pressure, trying to continue to feel, this personality or idea that people had of me. That was really hard for me growing up.
The word breakdown comes up, the time when you sort of hit the bottom.
Mm-hmm. I think when I was 17, that was the first time I had told my parents, I really want to go to a therapist. I'd done some research, and again, coming from where I come from, these aren't things that people are openly talking about. I come from Robbins, Illinois, which is a very small town, and just got a gas station a couple of years ago. You know what I mean? It's a very, very small town, and so when you're, depressed, you're lazy. When you're angry, it's not because you've experienced trauma and you don't know how to express yourself. It's just you're a bad person. So I never had a way to describe these things. And so once I finally realized what was going on, I said, okay, I just need to talk to somebody.
But what happened that made you feel like you're out of sorts? Was there a moment you realized, I got to turn this around, it's not going the right way?
Yes, probably. I think it was just a point I'd hit with my parents and realizing that there was no way I could really communicate with them any longer what I was experiencing, and I needed to get outside. I need to get outside of that, outside of my family structure, to really understand the problems that I was going through.
Yes. Now, Keke definitely, from a small child, she's had a lot of pressures and different things, but I know a lot of you probably have had different pressures as well. I mean, we've had a pretty difficult time with our school systems these last couple of years. Show of hands, how many people have felt maybe just a little not like themselves? Yes. I agree, me too. And we'll talk to some of these beautiful ladies because no matter what your profession is, you can still get those feelings. And Stacey being in the WNBA, I know that's a lot of pressure, a lot of practices, a lot of pressure to win those games and come through for your team. How did you deal with some of the stressors when you were playing?
First of all, I want to commend everyone here for being here. Like, give yourselves a hand for just doing what it took to be here, be in this room. When I was playing professionally, I would say the pressures came more so from I never was like a high draft pick. I had to like make a team every year, so it was a lot of stress as far as like, okay, what am I going to do from year to year? I wasn't one of those highly, the names that everybody knew. So just the year to year, trying to figure out if I was going to still be on a team, if I was good enough to be on a team. And I think that I just focused on the work, and a lot of the things that you stress about are not in your control. And so I just tried to focus on the things that I could control, which was how I worked out, how I ate, who I hung around, the things that I just kind of let into my space so that I can focus on being the best version of myself. And I was just like, well, I'm going to do what I can do, and if they want me, they'll bring me in, and if they don't, then I'll just keep it moving, and somebody else will. And so I just tried to focus more so on my process and believing in myself and the things that I could control. And it helped me to kind of alleviate that stress. So that's kind of how I handled it when I was playing.
Now, that's a very insightful thing to say, that I worked on the things that I could control. And I remember being a teenager and thinking, I gotta fix this. I gotta try to get a hand on everything. How did you separate that? Where did that maturity come from to say, you know what, these things I can't control, so I'm gonna work on these things that I can. Where'd you get that insight?
Well, I would say that's different. The question was when I was a WNBA player, so I was obviously an adult at that point. When I was a teenager, it was a little bit more challenging, but I think one of the things that helped me was just the people who I was around. Like I really had good friends. I always had a good circle of friends that were all doing positive things. We all did a lot of the same things together. A very small group, still tight to this day. But we all, for me, it was basketball. So, if you didn't notice, I'm kind of tall. So it's always been something that I have been. And so with me being like one of the tallest people, I kind of hung out with other tall people who also wanted to be basketball players. And so it kind of worked out that we, could lean on each other. But it doesn't have to be a sport. I do, encourage, you don't have to be a great athlete to play a sport. I do encourage young girls especially to try to find some sport that they like, just because of the team aspects and the team concepts and the friendships that you can make along the way. And it doesn't obviously have to be basketball, but it can be clubs, it can be whatever it is you're interested in, music. But if you find those like-minded people who are interested in the same things, I think it helps for you to be able to move through spaces and feel confident because you're with other like-minded people.
Yes. Did you ladies have some questions as well?
Well, I wanted to make a comment about that too. I think, Stacey, you bring up so many good points. I think Jessica will talk a little bit about relationships, but you talked about just being, occupying yourself with something that you enjoyed. And I think what I've seen a lot, Jessica and I spend time in schools. I'm a psychologist. I got my patients, So there's a lot of pressure to be identified as something, So you're the basketball player, but that's not really fair, right? Having a lot of things that you can participate in, that you can enjoy, even if you're not the best at them, the more things you can participate in, the more things you can do. It gives you more things to distract yourselves when things get stressful, or meet people. Right now, a lot of y'all have been isolated, doing school from home or not being able to see friends and things. So the more opportunities you get to do that and practice something, learn that maybe you're not great at it, but it's still fun to do. I just love that. I love that you brought that up because it's important. Sometimes we get too focused on something, and then, it can define how we're feeling. I'm a good mom today or I'm not. I'm a good doctor today or I'm not. I'm a good basketball player tonight or not. But we all have good days, we all have bad days, and the more we can pull from, I just think that's important. So I love that point. Thank you.
Do you ladies feel like you've been separated from your friends and things over the last couple of years? Hands? Yeah? Your supports, have you guys been able to participate in sports and things like that at all? Okay, that's still good.
So they're getting back into it in the
That's
schools
good.
for sure.
Yeah.
And yeah, I definitely wanted to touch on the piece of relationships. One of the reasons I would say I'm most passionate about working with adolescents and their families is because I feel that when we are at a good place, you know, with our mental and emotional well-being, we're best set up to have those healthy relationships. But I'm very familiar, you know, with the kids I work with, and I've worked with kids in Cleveland for probably over a decade now. I'm very familiar with the challenges that come with those close relationships and those issues of, you know, I have a friend and I lost a friend, or I'm having issues of trust. And so you brought up that even as a teenager, that was something that helped you a lot, was who you were connected with. And I also know you have a teenage daughter, so you kind of have your personal experience, you've witnessed your daughter's experience. So I definitely love to hear and have you share with the girls when it comes to all the tricky dynamics of relationships. How do we navigate that and make sure that, you know, we're prioritizing and doing our best to show up and also pick the right people?
Yeah, I do have an 18-year-old daughter. Super proud of her. She's a freshman in college right now. She plays volleyball, actually. She's at an HBCU, so I'm, you know,
Awesome.
really happy for her. But when she was probably in middle school, she was playing basketball. Not, you know, surprising. I didn't try to let her play basketball. I just encouraged her to play basketball because I kind of knew a little bit more about that. And she got to be pretty good about it. Got to be pretty good at it, but then she started to get a lot of hate from some of her teammates in middle school. So she started getting bullied in middle school because she was, I would say, probably the coach's favorite, where he was like, oh yeah, you know, she's the best player, so he was running everything for her and just kind of putting her out there. And so she started, like, her teammates started like bullying her about it. And it really took an effect on her. And I was like, what is going on? Like, I'm happy that she's doing well, you know. And I'm like, you know, and she said, she was trying to talk to me about it, and I couldn't understand it. And just like in the video, when Keke was saying it, like we got to a point, she was much younger than she had mentioned at 17. She was probably 7th grade, so that's what, 12?
12, 13, yeah.
She was 12, 13, and we were trying to work through it as mother and daughter, and it just wasn't working. It was actually causing more friction between our relationship. That we always had a really close relationship. And so I said, look, I got to find somebody for her to talk to. She's the only child. I didn't want her talking to her little friends, because you just never know, you know, if y'all gonna stay friends, and you don't want to be divulging like your personal innermost feelings with people that, you know, you just don't know. And so I started her going to talking to somebody, and to this day, she's, you know, it's just part of, it's part of her life. You know, she's in college. She had to find a new counselor because she went to a different school, but it's just part of her normal day-to-day. Like, okay, I need food, water, sleep, and counseling. Like, it's just what she does. And it helps us to stay mother and daughter, and it lets her have someone safe, a safe space to be whatever she wants to be.
Thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah.
That's such a good example of kind of what Keke said when she advocated for herself and said, hey, Mom, Dad, I need, you know, to talk to somebody. And she wanted that. And so I think that a lot of our kids at home, there may be different messages about mental health and about your well-being. And that's why we love doing programs like this, because we want you guys to be able to walk away and think, okay, well, like, what does this look like for me? Do I have the right people I'm connected to? Is this a topic we talk about at home? Is it uncomfortable to talk about it at home? So do I have a mentor at school or a teacher I can turn to? You guys are in a unique situation where, because you're at school, because you're in organizations like Saving Our Daughters, you have a lot of adults that care about you and look out for you and really want to connect you to the right things in your life. So I definitely want you to hear this message and not just think, it's definitely great if you can talk to your family, but in case you can't, there's other adults that you can turn to that can support you in it. And that makes such a difference in what you shared.
I'll just add, like, she started counseling where there was there was a problem, you know, like she was going through bullying and she was trying to figure it out. But like throughout the years, I would say now it's been 6 years of her going regularly. It's not because there's a problem. It's like just part of her wellness, and it's just part of her life. You know, it's not something that you have to look for when there's something wrong or when you're in a critical state. It's literally like something that, depending on who you are, you know, it's just something that you just may need to have someone there, like that safety net. So like, okay, just thinking through however you're feeling, you know, and it doesn't have to be like, oh, well, this is going on, so I need somebody. No, like sometimes you just need somebody to talk to, bounce ideas off of, and this is how I'm feeling. Is this, you know, or if you do need help, you know, reach out to those people for help. But I think that it's really important to be, to just know yourself and know your needs and be able to, you know, reach out if you do feel like you need help in whatever it may be. And there's no shame in it, especially during these pandemic days. There's a lot of people feeling certain ways about everything.
How many of you feel comfortable talking to your teachers or your child psychologist, the resources that you have at school? Anybody feel comfortable with that? They're very good. They're resources that are there to help you. I remember when I was a teenager, way back in the day, but I used to go and talk to my guidance counselors for different things that were going on at home and things that I felt like I couldn't get understanding from my friends, and it really helped. I still remember some of those people to this day from, you know, elementary school, from middle school, high school. You know, some of those guidance counselors kind of followed me through, and, you know, just the insight that they were able to give me. Because sometimes your friends don't know. Sometimes your family members, they might not even know. But, you know, it's important to use those resources because they're there for you. They're there to talk to you. And there's nothing too crazy that you can say. They're there to help you.
So I think another point, so yes, absolutely, right? There are Jessica's, me, you know, guidance counselors, school nurses, all of it in the buildings, and trust me, they're really excited to help everybody that I met. But, you know, a lot of the conversation around mental health can frame mental health as a problem, right? Like, oh, you got mental health issues, right? Oh, you got problems, right? And I think that's not really fair, right? I work at MetroHealth, we're a hospital, right? I work really closely with my pediatricians, and, you know, so I look at mental health as everything from healthy to sometimes needing some extra support, right? So, you know, and the conversations are changing. I see on TikTok, on Instagram, you know, there's a lot of people talking about how sometimes, you know, things get a little heavy and you can feel overwhelmed, and that's when you dip into your support, right? But right now, we've all, for the last almost 2 years, we have all been going through just the pandemic in general, right? So we all have a stressor. And some of us have ways that we've learned to cope, and I'd love to hear, especially on the panel, you know, if there are ways that you like to cope, but we, you know, some of us haven't learned great ways, and so that's when reaching out to the people supporting, when you know, but those relationships are also meant, sometimes you don't even realize you're struggling, but the parents in your life, or the teacher, or the best friend who can say like, hey, you okay? Like, you're just not the same that you know, and so being able to open up and say, yeah, the last couple of days have been hard, or I've been having some thoughts and they bother me, like, you know, and if you're that person that somebody's reaching out to, come to an adult, a trusted adult, and ask, how do I help my friend, or how can I get help for myself? But I want us to really stop. So this is me, like Dr. Elisa saying, let's stop talking about mental health as a problem, because it's not fair. You know, mental health is the continuum from how do we stay healthy to how do we help support when things get a little hard. So I know, so one of my close friends is in the audience, Dr. Murray. She's videotaping me, but could you just wave your hand? She's a psychologist too. And so one of the things Dr. Murray will sometimes check in with me, one of the things I love that she says, right, is emotions last only 30 seconds. That is true. So which emotions do you choose to pay attention to? And the thing that I like to tell her is that your emotions will follow your thoughts. And so if you can try to shift your thoughts a little bit, we can't always do it, but if we can, then 30 seconds later, you might get a new emotion, right? So that's not hard, but you might not realize that, right? So that's why you need to reach out to some of the people. So I don't know, does anybody have coping, certain things that they'd like to share? Maybe things your daughter learned that helped?
I feel comfortable to share. The first thing I want to agree with Dr. Ramirez, that in how we frame mental health. So any child or adolescent I've worked with, I always prioritize letting them know, like, we all need support. So like, I'm here today and I achieve things in life because I've been lucky to have certain support. So when I'm working with somebody, that's all it is what does the support that you need look like, and how do we, stay open to it to try things that can help us. And that's all it is we're just one of many people who just need our unique type of support. So for me, I would say that from a young age, I didn't even know that I was experiencing different types of anxiety from different situations. So as I got older and I realized that's what I was feeling in the moment, something that always helps me is realizing a lot of that uncomfortable feeling, you feel it physically first. So if I start to feel it physically first, I'm realizing okay, I think I'm worried about something that hasn't even happened yet. Anxiety is something in the future, the situation has not happened, but your thoughts have you worried. So I'm always working on just taking a pause and realizing that I'm not even in that moment. I'm in this moment, so I can take a deep breath and I can think about which direction do I want things to go in, to stay optimistic, because we can go straight to the doom and gloom. That's the worst case scenario, that's what I'm afraid of, that's what I want to avoid. And I've just learned that thought process first, like Dr. Ramirez said, is okay, well, if my emotions and a lot of times my circumstances are going to follow my thoughts, let me reframe it in a positive and optimistic way. So that's my go-to, just because that's what I have control of within me.
I would say just as far as coping, I'm really figuring it out. It's a continuum. What used to work for me, I would really focus on my being the best mom and making sure my daughter got to where she needed to get to for college. But now that she's there, I'm still trying to figure. Now I got to figure out what makes me happy now. So I'm trying to work out more. It's not as easy as you think for a former athlete. It used to be my job. Now I got to kind of plan it. So trying to work out more, trying to focus more on just my career. I work at the NBA now, so I really enjoy that, and I can kind of focus on just what do I want my career to look like moving forward. Focusing on just the future. It's been day to day, what is going to be that thing that makes me happy. And I'm still a little bit older now, but I'm still trying to figure it out, because life changes with different circumstances, and so the things that were important to you last week may not be important to you next week. So it's just having that self-awareness and being okay, what is it that I need to make me happy, and being able to focus on those things, and don't be unapologetic, because there's only one you, and you got to put yourself first, and whatever that is that you need to do to make yourself happy. So y'all pray for me. I'm trying to stay motivated to work out.
We praying for you, girl. I'm praying for myself
thank you.
too.
It's tough.
Yes. For me, communication has always been key. My ability to talk to people who I feel actually genuinely care. You see your teachers, they braved the snow, they braved everything to come out here and make sure that you guys could have this wonderful experience. But as far as personally, if you can communicate, sometimes even if the person that is talking to you, they might not have the best answer, but sometimes hearing it come out your mouth, just saying it out loud can give you some insights yourself as well. But try to communicate with those people who are there for you, who care about you, and that has always been a big help for me. But does anybody want to share some ways that they cope with things? Any hands? Anybody? How do you deal with something? How do you deal? How do you deal with things when it's tough? You can stand up.
Can you come here? We're trying not to pass.
Oh, okay. Stand up for me, honey. Yep.
And thank you for those who are brave to share. I think it helps a lot when someone, you know, that's same age, same grade, you guys learn from each other. These are the important things you can be sharing as friends in your groups. Do they have to walk over to them? Is that what he wants?
You want them to walk over there?
Yes, please.
Okay. Yeah, I guess if you can come.
If you're ready to share, you can make your way to the microphone.
And my other young lady over there that had her hand up, if you want to come as well.
Yeah, you can stand right behind. I'm excited to hear.
Right.
I'll be taking notes from them.
So what's your name?
Keke.
Keke?
Yes.
So Keke, when it gets tough, what do you do? How do you cope?
Well, I don't want to sound crazy, but I talk to myself.
Okay.
And it's like, sometimes you just want to be able to talk to everybody about your things, even though you should, because it's like, you never know how somebody can like have been through what you've been through,
Yes.
or think what you think. But I'll try to talk to myself, or I believe in God heavenly, so heavenly. So I talk to God and talk to myself. Sometimes, you know, you might not have anybody to listen, so you gotta be there to listen, you know, talk to yourself. And try to think things a different way.
Yes. Well, good job,
That's good.
Keke.
I love that.
Thank
Good
you.
job. What's your name, honey? What's your name, babe?
My name is Star.
Star? Ooh, you already winning right there. Star. I wish I had a name, Star. Star, what do you do?
Oh, I do like what she said. Sometimes I just talk out loud just to hear myself and what I have to say.
Yes.
Or either I have a journal, so I just write it down before, you know, my
Journals.
feelings become overwhelmed and it gets out of control.
All right. Well, that's a good thing, Star.
That's one of the number one, I would say, interventions I try to implement with the kids
Is
that I work
journaling.
with
Yes.
is journaling. And even if you guys look up like journal prompts, because you may not know what to write, it could be something that's like, oh, it starts the beginning of the sentence and then it gets them thinking on that topic. And it can be really helpful, just like when they were saying talking to themselves, journaling.
Yes, and sometimes when you look back at those journals, you were like, what was I thinking?
What was I going through?
What was that? What was that? All right, young lady, what's your name, honey?
Courtney.
Courtney? Okay, so look at all my ladies back there. Y'all have some good coping skills. Okay, what's going on? What do you do to cope?
I can talk to people and express my feelings by writing or asking people like what they do to like help me out when I'm angry and stuff like that.
Very good, very good.
Thank you for
sweetheart.
sharing,
Thank you so
Courtney.
much for sharing. All right, hon, what's your name?
Latasia.
Latasia. What's going on, Latasia? What do you do to help yourself out?
I either dance, because
Oh.
it just helps me relieve myself, or I listen to music, or I call my mama.
Okay, yes, mama's always good, honey. Are you good at dancing?
Yes.
Let me see.
We may have to have a dance party to wrap up a little bit later.
All right, ladies, what's your name? Jayla. What do you do, Jayla? You play basketball? Are you good? Okay. So what do you do to get by?
Sometimes I just really talk to my mom.
Mama.
Dad sometimes, but I really just stay by myself.
Okay, that works.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for sharing, honey. What, you covering your mouth, girl? What's your name? Carmiro. Carmira? What do you do, Carmira, to help yourself, to cope?
I talk to people who I trust, and I just stay to myself in my room.
You just go in your room, huh? You're not dealing with none of it. I hear you, girl. I have to take a little time for myself as well. Sometimes you just need a few minutes to let all of the emotions pass for a second and then regroup and start over. Thank you so much for sharing, honey.
You know, one thing I want to mention there real quick too is I've been using this a lot lately. When we get stressed, for the most part, We are one of three things. We're either a fighter, a flighter, or a freezer.
Yeah.
So think about who you might be. Some people, when they get stressed, they want to escalate. Like, that's just kind of react. Some people want to run away from the situation, and some people don't even know what to say, so they just stop. So you think about your friendships, your families and stuff. Sometimes you may need to flee for a little bit before you can calm down enough to communicate, which is so important. So sometimes maybe thinking about communication styles might be different. That doesn't mean it shouldn't happen, but thinking about how. Somebody may need a beat before they converse. So I love that.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right, and we're going to stop the line right here. I mean, we're going to get you ladies, and then we're going to wrap everything up, okay? But what's your name, honey?
Lakaya.
Lakaya. What you doing, Lakaya? You don't know what you do to cope? What do you do when you feel stressed?
I lock myself in my room and pass around where you can turn home to turn it down.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
How are you, princess? What's your name?
Shatavia.
Shatavia. What do you do, Shatavia, to
What I
cope?
do is I take deep breaths and think about it and then make another choice.
Oh, that sounds really mature. That's very good. Take some deep
That's mine.
breaths.
Deep breaths. That's mine.
Yes.
I agree.
Sometimes I probably need to take some deep breaths. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
What's your name, beautiful?
Tatiana.
Tatiana. What do you do, Tatiana?
I usually listen to music and just sit down, and I put candles on. 'Cause
What?
I think candles are nice.
Girl, you putting on some music and some
Listen.
candles? What?
They took all my coping skills.
Okay, honey, that is wonderful. That's a good idea. I'm gonna have to use some of
Yes.
y'all coping skills. I love it. Hi.
Hi, my name is Aja, and to deal with cope, I usually I'll do my nails because I learned how to do acrylics over COVID, and it's like a learning process, and I like to learn new things. So if I'm feeling like stressed out, I might do my nails, or like as for teams go, I'm on the softball team, and I have a really loving softball team, so I'll confide in my teammates too.
Aw.
That's
So you doing these
amazing.
nails and you
Yeah.
playing
Right.
softball too?
About to get us together.
I would be like, wait a minute, I can't get my nails. I can't hurt my nails. But yes, that's wonderful. And you can make some money in the future with that too. Good idea, good idea. Thank you. Hi, Princess. How you doing?
I'm good. My name is Fortune.
I love all these names.
I love it.
I love to write and things like that, like screenwriting and playwriting and stuff like that.
Oh.
I love listening to music, and also self-care is very important.
Yes.
Amen.
Because, like, say, it's very relaxing, like taking baths with bath bombs and stuff like that, lighting candles, all types of stuff like that. Volleyball, I love my sport. I play volleyball, stuff like that.
Okay.
And yeah,
I love
writing and
it.
music is a real big one, though. So.
I'm going to chill with all y'all.
She
'Cause
had a
y'all
lot of
have some
good
great
ideas.
ideas.
I hope y'all are taking notes.
Yes. I'm taking notes. Hi, beautiful.
Hi, my name is Amaria, and I basically, there's actually a few things that I like to do. I recently joined marching band not too long ago, back last year. Basically, I do logos, I play basketball, football, and different things like that.
Oh, you getting
Way to be
in.
involved.
Busy.
Yes,
That
ma'am.
is good stuff. That good stuff. We'll be looking for you, honey. Thank you.
Thank you.
We looking for you too, honey. Come on up. What's your name?
London, and
London.
I like to read, cook, or make clothes.
Oh,
We got all the creatives.
I know.
Y'all are talented.
Y'all
I
are
love
on
this.
it. What?
My name is Nigel, and I like to write and read.
Oh, what do you like to read? What type of things you like to read?
Nonfiction and fiction books.
Fiction and I used to love reading books when I would get all like the series and all of that stuff. I don't even know if they do it like that anymore. But yes, reading is really, really good. It calms you down and all of that. Very
Get lost
good.
in another story.
Yes, get lost in somebody else's drama. Yes. What's your name, hon?
Hi, my name is Samira, and I like to try to do hair when I'm stressed out or listen to music.
You, Samira, you gonna do my hair, girl. Very good, very good. You had another comment? What's that?
The method I use, like for one of my coaches, is
I need, hey, can I talk to you? I want to vent. Or, hey, can I talk to you? I want to vent and need a solution. So
Ooh, I like
know,
that.
like, do I need a solution or do I just want to vent?
Yes.
Also, if somebody's venting to me, I'd be like, well, do you want me to respond with, problem solve it, or do you want me to just respond with, emotional support?
That's so
I love
insightful.
that.
Do you want to come work for us at Metro?
Right.
Because that is awesome advice.
And
That
that
is
speaks to the
wonderful.
importance of
Yes.
relationships, and
Yes.
how you cultivate those connections, and you guys strengthen your bonds by realizing, like, I can be there for my friend, but I can also offer solutions if that's what they want. And also I can advocate for myself. Like, some days I just need to get it off my chest, and maybe I need a hug. Maybe I need somebody to just listen to me. And it's okay to ask for just that level of support. So thank you, ladies, for sharing. Thank you for your bravery, because I'm sure that for many of you, maybe there'd be a point where you wouldn't want to talk in front of the mic, or maybe today you were nervous doing it. And so all of you are such a great example of that courage, even if I feel a little bit nervous, and overcoming that. And that's what's going to keep helping you, is take those steps to overcome the things that may be challenging or be stressful. And you showed us you could do it. So we have all the confidence.
I would just like to add one thing. I know I commend you all, just everything she said, because I know it's a lot of, it was a time where I wouldn't even be confident enough to get up here and speak at a mic right now in this situation. So definitely, looking at you guys like, wow, y'all doing it, But I will say, I know this is a social media generation, but I will say sometimes that can be stressful. And so sometimes if you realize like that is a stressor for you, you may want to consider, I know it's probably, a lot for you guys. You may want to consider cutting back on your social media interaction engagement, or how you engage on social media, or who you allow in your social media space. You have control of that stuff. So if it's stressing you out, or if your friendships are stressing you out, it's okay to back up off of certain things if you realize that even if it's not the popular thing to do, because all your friends are on TikTok, right? Well, that's fine. Just tell your friends that you are engaging with on TikTok, So just be aware of what it is that's causing you stress, and be willing to say, figure out a way for it to work for you as opposed to stress you out. I'm not saying completely cut it out. She had a question.
That's great advice.
That's actually another thing. A lot of people like to judge me because personally, I don't have TikTok, I don't have Instagram and stuff like that. But my main focus is Maple Heights right now, because I have administrators and principals and different people coming to me asking me personally to make logos for different schools.
Okay.
I make logos for Maple Heights.
That's
right
amazing.
Now, I'm trying to get the whole entire Maple Heights all new logos. And that is the type of person that I want to be, because I feel like that if I can go on and beyond that, I can inspire people way beyond my age, way beyond other categories of different things. Somebody, I'm not gonna say no names, but somebody came to me one day, and it was the cutest little thing. She said, "Would you accept me if I was bisexual?" I said, yes. Because personally, this phone case represents it all. Personally, I'm bisexual.
Thank you for your bravery.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And for sharing that message.
I just want to say you ladies are all amazing. You are so far ahead of the game, and I'm so proud of you. And I know Keke wished that she could have been here, but guess what? The NBA, they are not going to let you leave without a little something. Mr. Kevin Clayton, come on up here and tell the young ladies what you got planned. I'm putting you on the spot. We put the pressure on y'all. Put the pressure.
So ladies, how we doing? Good? Thank you. I got a little soreness in my rib here, but it's okay.
So this is a very special moment for me personally. I actually have 4 daughters, and the fact that you all are here speaking from your hearts has really moved me. One of my daughters is in here. Veronica, is that you? Yeah. Okay. Give my daughters some love. So how many of you were hoping to see Keke? All of you. Yeah, I'll raise my hand too. So her flight was delayed, and we've actually been speaking with her and her mom this morning. I'm sorry, let me ask this. You said you have a daughter at HBC, right?
I do.
What school?
Alabama A&M.
Alabama A&M. All right. How many of you know what an HBCU is? All right, I need one person to tell me.
Historically Black College and University.
Okay, there we go. So we have an opportunity, because you didn't see Keke today, she's flying here. Tomorrow we will give you tickets to see Morgan State play Howard. Tomorrow at 2, Keke is singing the national anthem. She's singing Lift Every Voice with Howard's band, which has never been done before. And then she's going to spend some time with you either at halftime or after the game, taking pictures and talking to you. All right? So we're going to work out with your teachers and schools how we make that happen. But that's a special gift from her and the NBA and the Cavaliers. So thank you.
Thank you. I put my glasses on, y'all. But I hope you guys got a lot out of our conversation. There's a lot of people pulling for you, a lot of people rooting for you. I want to give a special thanks to Saving Our Daughters, Curtis Benjamin, always putting together all of these wonderful events. I'm Kenya Brown. You can turn on your radio, 93.1 WZAK, and I can talk to you on the radio. Thank you so much, Dr. Lisa Ramirez, Miss Jessica Vasquez, and also Stacy Lovelace. Thank you so much for all of your insights and all of this wonderful conversation, and all of the wonderful partners, Cleveland Sports Commission, Cleveland Cavaliers, MetroHealth, KeyBank, and First Energy for putting this all together for you. I'm wishing the best for you guys, and I hope you get to see Keke tomorrow. I'm so happy you got a chance. These are amazing times right now when our city right here, Cleveland, we're on the map, and we'll have so many exciting people here in the city, and you guys get to be a part of it. Thank you so much, Kevin and Keke, just everybody for trying to put these things together for you guys. And I hope to see great things from you all. Thank you.
Good luck, everyone. Oh, wait.
Okay, we're gonna take some pictures.
We had some questions, I think.
Hold on, what you got, baby? Do I have to dance?
Oh, that's on you.
Nah, I can't dance, girl. And I got some makeup on.
I don't know how to dance.
Okay, you gotta teach me what I gotta do. Come on, what we gotta do?
I'm going to excuse myself.
I don't even have it. I don't even know how to make it.
Wait,
Stacy, you about to get on this TikTok.
Guys, do the TikTok when we get it done. I'm gonna send it over to Keke so she can post.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right, y'all. We got to get it right, cause microphone. Oh, you got. Oh, she got the mic. Okay. What we got to do?
Just hold it next to the thing while you're away.
All right. Are we gonna have to scoot back? Go.